Hey, hey, what's happening, my joyful people? It's Kimberly. So, how's life treating you? Right? Today is Friday, and I can't believe we are here once again for Share the Joy. All right, so remember, this is my company, Do All Things with Joy, where health and wellness meets passion and purpose. And today we are going to be talking about fibroids. And 75% of the population of women, hey, how you doing, suffer with fibroids. So I'm going to wait a little bit until maybe a few more people pop on. And you guys remember, share this video out, because if 75% of female population suffer with uterine fibroids, then there's something going on we need to know about. Okay, so what I want you to know that first off, fibroids are non-cancerous tumors. So understand that, they haven't turned into anything that is malignant. Hey, Leslie, good to see you. So just understand that. And they change the shape a lot of times of your uterus. They're a lot of times either the size of a pea all the way to a size of a grapefruit, or even in some cases a melon. And that's very serious. So sometimes we have to have our fibroids removed. But we can do things naturally to reduce what's going on with fibroids in our body. So the first thing I want to talk about are just the 8 ways. I'm going to kind of list them. So grab a pen and piece of paper, keep them in your head, come back, watch the video again, share it, whatever you need to do. But we're going to talk extensively about 2 of them. And then I'll come back in next week and talk about part 2 of this, and we'll go through the last 6 of them because they kind of all clump together. So today we're going to really talk more about diet. So the first thing we want to do is avoid foods that are that make it worse. And I know that sounds crazy. You're like, well, what foods are they? We'll get to that. All right, then eat foods that help to relieve the fibroids. That's the next thing we want to do, and we're going to talk about that. So those are the 2 we're going to talk about today. But then we're going to try supplements that might help fibroid reduction, and we'll go into what those supplements are. And then we can also try a castor oil pack on the stomach, and we'll talk a little bit more about how you can do that. Herbal teas that will be really helpful, essential oils that are helpful, and exercise that you'll want to take on, and then avoiding environmental toxins. So those are the 8 things that you want to do. Avoid foods that make it worse, eat foods that make it better, try supplements that may help, also essential oils, castor oil packets, herbal teas, exercise, and avoiding environmental toxins. So those are the 8. But let's talk about the food first, okay? So we're going to talk about what we don't want to do, right? First, not eating foods that are high in fat or processed meats, all right? So high in fat, processed meats. So what do you say? So like a burger that is not grass-fed, or deli meat, or hot dogs, things like that. Those are things that you do not want. They're going to increase your chances of having fibroids, or your fibroids developing into larger fibroids. So look at your diet specifically and make sure that we're eating clean meats and things that are not high fat and highly processed. Remember also like breakfast sausage, things like that. Those are the things I'm talking about. Okay, conventional dairy, we need to stay away from. Number 1, because of the steroids that most conventional dairy is fed, and that steroid comes to us, and that actually causes the growth of fibroids to increase even more. Okay, so that growth of your fibroids will increase more if you're eating foods that have steroid injections. So that goes even for chicken, that goes for beef, that goes for anything. So being really mindful of steroids in your food, because that just exacerbates that situation, or the growth, hyper growth that happens. Refined sugars, and it's interesting for this one, 2 reasons why. Is 1, sugar causes inflammation, so inflammation in the body is going to also affect the fibroids, but it also leads to weight gain. And a lot of times weight gain is also going to create a hormone imbalance in the body. So understanding that anytime you have a hormone imbalance, the fibroids will grow more. So getting our weight under control and our hormones in proper balance is so key to changing that naturally. The other thing is taking refined carbohydrates out of the diet. And that's another thing that's going to spike insulin level, which is also going to change what's going on in your uterine wall, because of the increase in insulin changes your hormone level in the body as well. So guys, remember that. That is highly, 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 hey Benny, I just saw you jumped on. It's good to see you. That's highly important to understand, is that things like rice, white rice. So a lot of times people go to Chipotle and it's like, hey, do you want brown rice? Do you want white rice? And they're like, oh, white rice. No, just opt for the brown rice. I promise you it doesn't taste that different. It really doesn't. White pasta, breads, things like that are highly refined. You've taken out all of the fiber from it when you've stripped it, and now all you're doing, hey Janora, so good to see you. So all you're doing at this point in time is having the starch or the sugar, which increases that insulin level. So taking that out, those refined carbohydrates. The next thing is alcohol. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this one, but alcohol suppresses immune function, which can decrease or of course cause weight gain, but it can also create hormone imbalances as well. So you guys, that consumption of alcohol, if you have fibroids and that's something that's concerning you, you really have to reduce your alcohol consumption. Not easy for some, I know, but it's one of those, especially for those who are in childbearing years and want to get pregnant, taking the alcohol out of the diet is really important. Also, caffeine. Staying away from too much caffeine is taxing to the body and especially the liver. Okay, so I'm not talking about, an occasional cup of coffee here or there. I'm talking about like the people who drink 2, 3, 4 cups of coffee a day. It's very taxing to that. And then when the body is overworked to remove toxins from the body, it once again affects the hormone levels, and hormone levels will affect the growth of fibroids in your body. So overall fibroid growth. So the thing we want to think about, number one, is reducing high fat processed meats, taking conventional dairy out, the refined sugars, reduce those or take them out, eliminate them, refined carbohydrates, alcohol, and caffeine. If you are really struggling with this and you need help, guys, my program Gut Check 21 addresses all of these things and some more, and it gives you support walking through eliminating this, because it can be very hard on the body, and if you don't have a friend or somebody kind of going through that with you or guiding you, it can be tough. So if you need help, join Gut Check 21. You get me as a coach where you get to talk to me one-on-one twice a week, all of that kind of good stuff, and ask your questions and all of that. So that's there for you. But these are the foods to avoid. The things that are helpful, all right? So organic foods, that's kind of a no-brainer. Green leafy vegetables, all right, guys? Hey, Thomasina, it's so good to see you, sweet pea. It's been a while. Carnivorous veggies, all right? So things like broccoli, cabbage, even apples and tomatoes are really good at reducing fibroids in the body. Beta carotene, so things like carrots, right? But did you know there are also sweet potatoes, kale, and spinach also have a great supply of beta carotene in the body. Foods that are high in iron, so like your lentils, even your grass-fed beef, things like that are going to be helpful for increasing the iron in your body, will also help to reduce fibroids. Consuming flaxseed. So hey guys, when you think about flaxseed, a lot of people want to eat the actual seed itself. You want it to be the meal, because then that's when you can get the nutrients into the body. But with the flaxseed, it just actually passes through your body like I said, like the seed of eating like a bird, and it doesn't digest. We don't have the ability to break that down. So break it down first by opening up the seed and then consuming it. Sprinkle it on oatmeal, put it in smoothies. You'll never taste it on salad, and you can get some great benefits from that. And it actually helps to balance estrogen levels. Okay, so flaxseed with an F, flax, not black, flax. And then whole grains. So remember I told you before, take away the refined carbohydrates. Now what I want you to do is I want you to eat whole grains like millet and spelt and oats and brown rice and things like that. Keep the fiber in, all right? Keep the fiber in. So I hope that you guys, for those who are just joining on, go and just listen to the replay. I go through kind of 8 things that you can do, but we only talked about 2 of them. We're going to talk about 6 next week in part 2. But I wanted to go over the food first, because I don't like to keep you guys on here for long, because we have attention span of a squirrel. So if I was on here for a long time, you'd be like, oh, all right, and you'd tune out. So take this in, the food part. Remember, if you need help with the food part, I do Gut Check 21. It runs every month. You guys can jump on and have support and learn how to get these foods out of your diet and get the good ones in. But if you got it down pat, good stuff. I have to say I've been blessed that I do not and have never had fibroids before. I think I've lived kind of the life that this talks about. And so I just want to make sure that you guys understand that I'm here to help you with your diet shifts. That's what I do. And I mean, it takes you guys to make those things happen. but you can make it happen. And if you're dealing with that, especially for those who are in childbearing years, I have a soft spot in my heart for infertility because my husband and I went through so much with miscarriages, and I believe it was both of us detoxing that allowed me to conceive Jai and to hold him to term. Jai is my victorious little man who was after all of the miscarriages that I had. So I have an Israel as well, another son, and so I just trying to show you guys that keep the faith, keep the hope, understand that if you have been diagnosed with lots of fibroids, I'm here to help you with whatever natural means I can, so that hopefully you will have a great testimony that you have a little one, if that's what you want. And for those who are just like, I just want to get rid of these things out of my body, that as well happens. So peace and blessings. I love you guys. Thank you for joining in with me every week on Share the Joy. Please remember to hit that share button and share it out, because you never know what woman out there is suffering with uterine fibroids, and maybe this little piece of information this week can help her out. So once again, love you guys. Peace and blessings, and have a great, great weekend.